Obviously, went back, looked at the film. I thought there was some really good play in the first half. I thought both sides of the ball did some really good things. It was really good to be able to stop the run like we did in the first half defensively, get off the field on third downs, offensively take advantage, start fast, execute third downs, score, get another score before halftime. I thought all three of those things were really good. In the second half, got an opportunity to play 77 players in a game. I don't think I've ever done that before. So had an opportunity to play 77 different players to get game experience in Faroe Field. Got an opportunity to put their resume on tape and see what opportunities they have, where they can contribute, how much better they need to improve. So really pleased with how that turned out. Obviously, have turned our attention to Boston College, a very good football team. Their head football coach has been there for his second season. Coach Hafley does a tremendous job on the defensive side of the ball, but you can tell they're extremely well coached in all three phases. They play complementary football. They might have the best special teams in the country right now with the way they're playing on special teams, adding scores, turnovers. Offensively, very efficient moving the football, pro-style offense with a former NFL coordinator as their coordinator in Kurt Signetti. Does a really good job of mixing in outside zone, what we call the duo play actions, and boots to keep them on schedule on first and second down, and then throws the ball on third down. I know their quarterback's hurt, but the fifth-year senior has got plenty of experience. I think he started 5 games, maybe before the transfer last year. Played against Virginia, had a career high of 500 and something passing yards. So he's an experienced player who can manage the offense. Zay Flowers, the wide receiver, is a tremendous player. A lot of projections about what his future will be in the NFL. So know that he's really good. But what makes them go is their 5 offensive linemen up front. All of them have multiple starts. Their tackles have 39 and 27 starts between them. I think their left guard, the Johnson young man, is their best player up front and does a tremendous job. And then the Lindstrom young man, 15 starts at center, provides a lot of solidarity for them with their offense. Going to be a tremendous challenge again for us to stop the run, which we haven't consistently done, and we need to do a better job or we will be in trouble. They do a nice job of managing the clock and possessions. Defensively, very talented football team. They got a tremendous scheme. Do a great job of mixing in their fronts, mixing in their coverages and pressures. Got a lot of experience. I feel like I say the same thing every year, but I forget that it's a COVID year. But got a lot of experience, a lot of guys returning, a lot of guys up front. I think all 4 starters in the secondary come back. So a lot of experience in their system and what they're trying to do and making checks. So be good. First time I think Mizzou has ever played Boston College. And excited about that schedule to really open up some recruiting grounds for us in the Northeast. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke.
Eli, with the defense, Boston College hasn't allowed an opponent to score in the first half this season. Just how important is it to get off to a fast start against a team like that?
Well, that's very important. Obviously that gives them the ability to do what they want to do when you talk about complementary football. That allows them on offense to really manage the game with running the football, play actions, and then converting on third and mediums. They don't really have to force the issue. Obviously offensively, we've got to start fast. We can't play behind, which is something that we were able to do this past week. So that's going to be something we have to do, start fast.
You mentioned the challenge of stopping the run, particularly for the defensive line against their offensive line. Are you able to take anything from the success in the first half last week, or how do you approach that?
You always get confidence in your performance. You get confidence on the things that you did right, the things that you executed. So you take confidence in that we can do this. Obviously, it's going to be a much different opponent with a much different skill set, much bigger. You're talking about a group that averages 300 pounds across the board, and all are 6'3", or bigger, with multiple starts. So it's going to be a much bigger challenge for us to do that, and we're going to have to match their intensity and physicality in the trenches.
Eli, every coach inherits schedules. Is this this a non-conference series? I know you made the joke, but as far as the caliber goes, is this a good test to have as your one Power 5? Would you like, I know you've got so many games already scheduled out 20 years down the road, but would you like more of a regional game if you could pick how those non-conference schedules go?
This by no means is any knock on Boston College. I think it's a great game. It'll be a tremendous test. I think they're a really good football team. They're 3-0. They were, maybe 6-5 last year in a COVID year, and I think Coach Hafley's done a tremendous job there and poised to have a big year. I mean, you look at the ACC; it's wide open, and us traveling to Boston is going to be a very difficult test. If I had my pick of it, I would love to play a regional matchup that was maybe more of a rivalry game. That would be maybe a little bit more exciting to recruits to watch, from a TV perspective, or maybe we're playing in front of your family. I don't know the last time Missouri signed a kid from the great state of Massachusetts.
Eli, regardless of the opponent or where it is, when you're the SEC team going into a game like this, and you've experienced this on other staffs before, can you feel that energy from the other team of, we've got the SEC team in our building, and we've got a chance to maybe make a name for ourselves?
Absolutely. Anytime you're playing against an SEC opponent, you're going to get their best effort and their shot. I mean, it's the best conference in college football for a reason. You get measured by your performance against SEC teams. They've got a lot of NFL caliber players that they know are going to, they're going to watch how they performed against the SEC schools as much as anything. And there's been a lot of trash talk between the leagues, so I'm sure there's going to be a little bit extra motivation on both ends and both sides, and so.
But do you feel like, if they have a coach in the second year, you're obviously in your second year, do you feel like this is a good kind of litmus test of where your program's at compared to
I haven't put any thought into that part of it. I haven't. I mean, that's a good question. I guess it would be a good litmus test for us to see where we're at compared to them, relative to, are we on track? I guess, but I haven't put any thought into it. I'm really more concerned about where I believe that we're on track and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish and where we're at. And what we need to recruit and how we need to perform and the expectations we have for a week of practice and going on the road and playing in a tough environment. I've played up there before when I was at NC State, and it's a difficult environment to play in, and so we're going to have our best stuff.
Eli, you mentioned on Saturday this is a people business first.
Yeah.
Do you remember meeting Chance Cooper like when he was 8, 9 years old when you and Curtis would go coach together at Auburn?
Absolutely. We would have Sunday night dinners, where coaches would bring their kids, and remember going over to Curtis's house to pick him up to take him to the airport whenever I was the GA, and he would have to go out recruiting and do all that kind of stuff and run into his kids. They would be in the office quite a bit, so absolutely.
Is there any memories you remember from just watching him grow up or staying in contact with Curtis over the years?
Nah, I mean, I think it's pretty surreal going and recruiting him, watching him dunk a basketball in high school and just seeing the different things that he's done, but nothing sticks out.
You noted before the Kentucky game that road games have been the most kind of you all since you took over. Is there a common theme you can identify with that?
Not really, not yet. We're leaving on Thursday, which we did against Kentucky, and I thought was good for us. But I haven't identified anything right now. I'd have to go back and kind of take a broader look. I think last year I kind of maybe put some stuff out of my mind just relative to the experience of COVID and some of the people that you traveled with and all the different stuff. So I think this is more of a litmus test now, this game, compared to what we did against Kentucky, and then I think we'll have 2 more going, so it'll be a better indication of where we're at on the road.
Eli, you touched on this Saturday, but having had some time to look at film, just wondering what are your impressions of Michael Cox's performance against CMO?
Yeah, I thought Mike did some really nice things. Obviously, he had the really long run on 3rd and 15, broke through. I mean, he did a great job blocking. I think the guy who deserves the most credit for that play would be Bobby Lawrence. Has an incredible lead block on there, chases down, ends up getting through, knocking the safety down. And then Michael displayed some really good speed. I thought he had a run before that on a counter play where he had about 3 guys bounce off of him, which displayed some really good balance and toughness in the run. So thought it was good.
Coach, the South Florida, you think it was, especially for guys like Tyler Beatty and Connor Bazelak to have a full half to sit out ahead of this road matchup?
I think anytime you have the ability to recover and get a good day's work in, and I think that's good for you. But we're just in the first quarter of our season, so I don't necessarily think anybody's bumps and bruises are too big right now. So this is SEC football. They got to be ready to go. It's good to get them out, but it's not like a secret weapon or anything.
Their offense has some pro-style elements. Can you compare it much to Kentucky just from the NFL, influence they had there?
Yeah, I would expect it to be very similar. We struggled with it, so I would anticipate that they're going to copy exactly what Kentucky did against us and see if we fixed it. I know that's what I would do. So I expect pin and pulls. I expect outside zone weak. I expect duo. Till you stop it, that's what you're going to get. So I don't think it's going to be a secret what they're going to try to do. I think it's a matter of whether or not we've learned our lesson, whether or not we have great leverage in the trenches, whether or not we have great hand placement, hands inside, whether or not we fit our gaps, whether or not we can protect our linebackers from allowing the linemen to get to the second level, whether or not we can force edges on the perimeter, whether or not we can keep contained. It's no secret how we got to stop it. It's just, are we going to do it?
With a couple of weeks after the Kentucky game and another game under the belt, do you feel more prepared to stop the run?
I felt prepared going into all of them to stop the run. We got to do it. We got to do it. So, I don't know. We'll find out Saturday. I promise you they're going to run the football. And so we'll find out Saturday. It's all talk right now. So we'll find out, Saturday if we bring our stuff, if we bring the physicality, if we bring leverage and eyes and hands, and or if we don't.
Do you feel like it's led to your offensive success in the red zone? We see in the notes you're pretty much perfect in the red zone this year. Knock on wood.
What was the question? I was knocking on wood.
What has led to the success of the subject that led to the knocking on wood, the offense in the red zone?
I think just good players. I think Tyler Beatty's made some really good plays. I think our quarterbacks made some really good plays. I think our tight ends have made some really good catches. I don't think there's anything magically in the scheme that's real good. I think our guys are just making plays.
Coach, did anyone who got in the second half, maybe some of the younger guys, did anyone really jump out on you in the film that might see more playing time moving forward?
I don't know if there's anybody that just said, man, I deserve to be starting now. But I thought there was a lot of guys with some really good reps that we felt like, all right, we're really comfortable with this guy playing. I thought EJ at right guard did some really nice things. Obviously, Michael Cox did some really nice things. JJ Hester, he's been getting some plays during the course of the game anyway, but be able to make that catch and throw on the jets was really exciting for us and for him, I know. And, so I necessarily think anybody stood up and said, oh, okay, I should play more, but I do think there was a lot of reps that were like, okay, we can build off this.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Have you announced that we're doing in-person yet on Saturday?
No,
Oh,
you
wow.
can do it if you want.
Guys, I'd like to announce that we'll do in-person post-game interviews on Saturday, except for y'all in the back that are in TV land. You'll be on Zoom. But if you make the trip, anybody making the trip? Yeah, Red Sox, Yankees are at 3 o'clock, so we'll miss that. But, yeah, y'all can go Friday.